you want, what you want.
Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88's, and during the weekend I went to the movies in theaters once again, and I saw was The Mummy in 3D. Sorry folks, I had to say it, just to make it more intense. Now this is another reboot slash incarnation. I don't know how many Mummy movies they made. Some of them were just bootleg, some of them were just probably trying to make it as blockbuster, but the only two version mummies that I knew back in the day was Boris Karloff's The Mummy and Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, including the two other sequels. Now this was the beginning of Dark Universe, where we have now all the Universal monsters that will be collaborating much soon with Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein monster, The Mummy, and the creature of Black Lagoon.
Well, it seems now we're gonna have all the Universal monsters coming back together, and it's all thanks to this whole new Dark Universe.
Now, unfortunately, The Mummy was actually the first to be in the Dark Universe, and ever since with the other Universal monsters that were trying to make a reboot or trying to come back, make it as more terrifying, some were kind of letdowns and some were just not too good. And of course it stars with Tom Cruise because he's the main action hero character. And we have Sofia Boutella playing as none other than the Mummy. And Russell Crowe stars in it as well. He plays an important character, which I'm not going to spoil it, so no spoiler alert. He plays an important and crazed scientist character. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Maybe we can tell the folks who it is.
I told you. No spoilers.
Oh, come on, can I just say it?
No.
Can I just say at least the doc? Alright, fine, I won't. Proceed the review.
Eventually, The Mummy, I want to say, is a horror movie. It's practically much more of an action, spooky, supernatural film. And there are some couple of scary scenes, but most likely they're just not really that scary at all. I think somehow the elemental of horror are starting to go downhill, and I felt a little disappointed when I got out of the theaters. But most likely, I think I would just only say that I only liked where it was just The Mummy itself. But even so, that it had to be PG-13. The only Universal monster that was not really PG-13 was the Wolfman. At least it was a hardcore rated R horror film. And with Dracula Untold, that was still PG-13. I thought for sure it wouldn't have had a rated R itself. But then again, it just once again became a letdown. Now for The Mummy, I think it wasn't too bad. A few things that I did like about this film were the visual effects. I think they were very good. And the story background of how it all began. And that was really great too. And The Mummy. That was it. And of course we did see some couple of zombies that were just chasing, but I just found them very funny how the way they were running, including with all these 3D rats and bugs that are just coming out, and some were realistic and some weren't really. The only thing that wasn't really realistic was just the rats itself. I felt they were just, just a bit cheesy. And with Tom Cruise just having all the action, doing a couple of his own stunts himself, I think it was terrific, and having him kicking some ass again. Now, the one thing that kind of cut me off was the love relationship between Nick and Jenny.
Ugh, love interest, romance. Give me a break.
Now, I felt that somehow it was kind of rushed, and they always had to bring those two in. It doesn't really flow through this film. This should be like a horror movie and not a mixture between of romance, action, suspense and horror at the same time, because it really gets me lost and it gets me a little confused with the elements.
So often that this is just a kind of a good start for this dark universe. But frankly, like what Bones said, it was kind of off balance due to the romance and the scary scenes, and not to mention the jumping scenes too.
They really mixed it up, and I just wasn't really feeling it. Unlike the originals, they always kept it one genre, and that is just a horror film itself. The original Mummy was like a straight out horror monster movie. The 1999 of The Mummy was action / horror / a bit of romance. But most likely it was mostly of action, horror, and romance, but at least they balanced the genres of it. But as for this remake, it was only in a mix and it was quietly unbalanced. And I couldn't even get it. But the one thing that just really got me all hyped, which was Sofia Boutella playing as the Mummy. I mean, she pulled it off very well and she did a good job. She didn't mess it up, not too much, and she practically spoke Egyptian and English too.
Come on, can I just tell them who's Russell Crowe's character that he was playing as?
No, you may not.
They're gonna know eventually.
I said no.
That's it. I'm gonna say it.
Don't even think about it.
Russell Crowe.
Don't you dare.
Character is...
I'm warning you.
Alright, I won't say it.
And that's more like it. Now, is this remake of The Mummy worth watching? Yes. Is it scary? Not quite. Like I said, some scenes were scary, but not too scary. But even so, it's worth watching it, and it's really actually a fair monster movie. And only because they have some good visual effects, and even when watching it in 3D and everything may come out of the screen, and that's what I liked about this movie. And only for one thing, that I wish they couldn't just balance and keep one genre at a time. Or at least maybe two genres. Make it either an action horror film and take away with the romance drama happening, and that way it wouldn't have kept it true. It wouldn't have been a good beginning monster film for the dark universe.
Well, this whole love interest, again, there was one tiny chunk that they took out from this film, and practically how they even first met. That's the question. The question that remains there: how did they meet? I mean, sure, yeah, they did explain it, but the problem is, why didn't they just show it? That's kind of a waste, and this character for Ginny is such a waste of a character.
So, just to rate this film for The Mummy, I would have to give this a 7.6 out of 10. For a good start of the dark universe, and with all the Universal monsters that'll be collaborating soon, and for The Mummy is just once again a fair horror film, and with all this that's happening, and especially with the characters, they were kind of good and they were very interesting. But once again, The Mummy was very interesting and a little different, because now this time it had a different gender. Is now a female mummy instead of a male mummy. And hopefully, if they ever try to make a sequel, or they try to make it better and try to keep one genre at a time, I will be looking for it when it comes on Blu-ray and DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88's signing off and saying is... Peace!
Well, now, if you guys are very curious, I'll give you a hint. I don't want to get in trouble by Bones, and I don't want to get everyone mad at him for it, but I'm gonna say it. Russell Crowe's character, his character is very important, and is a very familiar character, and you probably know what it is because he does play a doctor. A very important doctor. That's all I'm gonna say. So, if those of you saw The Mummy, you'll know who it is. But if those of you didn't, what the fuck are you waiting for? Go to the damn movies and watch The Mummy! And if you're also interested, you could watch the original Mummy or the 1989 Mummy, including with the sequels Return and the Tomb of Dragon Emperor. That third film was just shitty. A shitty ass mummy movie.